Morning all. Over the weekend I played in an over-the-board tournament. It was actually inspired, believe it or not, by a bad experience on bullet games. I wanted to mix my chess with some overboards. I didn't really. I thought my opponent was cheating on one of the servers. I'm not going to say the nickname or anything, but it left me with a bad feeling after, because spectators were saying, I was getting outplayed each game, and actually I guess I was just winning on time in bullet. But then I looked at it after and I thought it was a bit odd. My opponent was playing this early Queen A5 or Queen A4 all the time, and I had asked him, why are you playing that? Doesn't it just lose a tempo when I attack your queen, like with knight D2 to C4 and then etc.? And he says, oh well, I win games with it. So anyway, I said it was computer-like, and strangely his whole repertoire changed after. But anyway, it inspired me to go and play an over-the-board tournament, and there was one nearby at Hatfield, near the Galleria, which I'm well aware where that is, and it was in a hotel, and it was a fantastic place to have a tournament. The hotel bar in particular, the old J2O mixed with lemonade, tomato pint, fantastic drink, I recommend that. So I had loads of those during the tournament. I had a really good time. Nice TV, nice bar, nice breakfast. Getting there early, English breakfast. So anyway, in round one, I was playing against Kikyo of Wood Green Chess Club, and there's a bit of controversy around this game. I'll leave the suspense what the controversy actually is, as well as going through the game. So I played E4. He played E5. I played the King's Gambit because we'd met in this 5-minute tournament in the North Circular League's 5-minute tournament, the Capes Trophy, and I thought he had been improvising, and he still played this knight C6, which I thought he played in the 5-minute. So I played knight F3, and now this knight F6 move. I think the theme of this game is stripping away biases, as well as the other bit of the theme, which I want to leave in suspense. So here, stripping away biases. After F takes, knight takes E4. Here is my first question to you guys. What would you play here? I just naturally assumed I'd try and gain pressure on E4 by playing D4 and bishop D3. Now, if we were to strip away any biases about this, what do you think is the best move? Is it D4 or is it something else? If I give you 10 seconds here, what would you play? So 10 seconds starting from now. Okay. When I engine checked this game with Ribka, I was a bit horrified to find out I'd lost an entire tempo. By playing D4, I'd lost an entire tempo. When in fact, I can actually play D3 here. Because where is the knight going? Okay, it can't go to G5. It can only go to C5, correct? Because we're on G5. So it goes to C5, but now D4. And now where can it go? Here or here? It doesn't really want to go there or anywhere else. So here or here. Now if it goes here, then there's D5. So if it has to return here, then I've got this position with bishop D3. A whole tempo up on the game continuation, say. But no, in the game I played D4, losing in effect an entire tempo. This is the thing about stripping away biases or wanting, I don't know, not really checking that D3 and D4 is quicker than actually D4. Although it's 2 steps, it's with tempo both steps, and it will still be white to move after with bishop D3. But now he just plays D5. So bishop D3, okay, and black's got this extra D5 in, so I've lost an entire move. Okay, bishop E7, and now we both castle, and I think I still want to undermine this knight on E4. What's the best way of doing it? Do I really want to play say knight C3? Maybe he just plays F5, and how will I sort of undermine this knight now? There's no C4. I've blocked in the C4 pawn. Surely this is no good. This would be a monstrous knight, and I really don't want to play this and give like the semi-open F file. It wouldn't exactly be like King's Gambit, would it? So I play c4, designed actually to try and discourage f5, but in fact he plays f5 anyway. And I'm thinking now, this is where a bias is creeping in. I'm thinking this diagonal is being weakened. Surely my pattern recognition is telling me this diagonal must be weak. It's a tactical liability. And I'm thinking also cd queen d5. I've got knight c3 gaining a tempo because d4 is protected. And what is he going to do? Strengthen my centre? So I play c takes d5. And after knight b4, okay, I'm trying to look at the details of the position. I'm trying to remove some bias in my position. I'm not trying to treat it like blitz or bullet. And I'm thinking, hang on, there's a tricky move here. Couldn't I interrupt the protection of this knight? Okay, that's the clue. So what would you play here to try and win material if I give you 10 seconds here, starting from now? Okay, I played d6 thinking I was winning a piece. Okay, do you think this is winning a piece? Can I pose you this question? If I give you 10 seconds, yes or no, is what to have in mind after 10 seconds, starting from now. Is white winning a piece? Okay. Well, c takes d. Yes, I've interrupted the protection of b4, and now I throw in this seemingly lethal check. But here, if you were to strip away biases and be playing black here, what would you play if I give you 10 seconds now? Okay. In the game, my opponent actually played king h8, just dropping the b4 knight. There was no need. Just d5 here. Does two things. It blocks the check, it protects the knights. And I showed people this position, well, a move earlier, and they couldn't see this. They thought in this position d6 was actually winning a piece. Strange, isn't it? It's kind of an optical illusion, some sort of assumption to do with the check being lethal, that queen b3 is actually winning a piece. So he just gave me a whole knight. Strange game, isn't it? D takes e5 anyway, so the game continued. Queen e1. I was a bit wary, queen b3, maybe there's d, takes and then knight c5. So I think queen e1 is actually one of the strongest moves. Now he plays knight c5, so I get that powerful, I get that e pawn because I want to try and keep this bishop hemmed in by the pawn here. So I'm really happy being a piece up in round one. So knight c5, I want to get my queen side out and put my king into safety to avoid any tricks. So bishop f8, and now bishop g5. So I refuse to move my queen for a bit. Again, I sort of try and prompt the exchange of queens. And now, after rook a1, bishop d7, I glanced at my clock and I wondered, it doesn't seem to be moving. My clock doesn't seem to be moving. And at that same moment, we made eye contact, and he also seemed to be consciously aware that my clock had not been moving. And in fact, we looked at the clock hands, and my clock hadn't moved even a centimetre for the entire game so far. So we both left to go to the controller, and the controller adjusted the clocks, but Kiko was annoyed, and he just resigned. He didn't want to play on a piece down anyway, and I guess he might have been thinking I was moving super quickly during the game. I think that was but anyway, that's the controversy game of the clock, but also the fact I wasn't even winning a piece. And if there were blunders in this game, I think the first blunder was just losing an entire tempo. So this was my round one, for what it's worth. I don't know if it's at all instructive in any way at all, actually. Okay, but I don't know, there's this thing about stripping away biases, because both me and Kiko play blitz, and maybe sometimes we do need to strip away our own biases and look at the exact position when it comes, and the resources of the position. And there are resources available. This isn't a lethal check. That's the first point. So he didn't need to lose a piece. And And then we have the clock controversy, of course. So it was a very quick round one. So with so many hours to round two, I popped back home actually to get back for round two later. Anyway, comments or questions on YouTube. This is in the Hearts Congress British Championship qualifier. Thanks very much.